All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the apparent Democrat frontrunner, that Weasley liar and economy destroyer. You know him, slick Gavin Newsom.
All the pardoning, all the this great grift, the biggest, most corrupt administration in history.
All the pardoning, says Gavin. You believe that? All the pardoning, says Gavin. And he's not even talking about the Autopen. Well, it was in fact Joe Biden who used pardoning as a personal superpower like a swampy mafioso. But worse, most of the time, it wasn't even him. It was his power-hungry minions running around all over the place in the White House. They all covered up his downfall into dementia pretty well, not so well. Not really at all. But in hindsight, I would say it hurt them. The House Oversight Committee is apparently all over it.
He often would confuse names.
Do you think it got worse as you knew him?
Yes.
Are you sure you're being honest with yourself when you say you have the mental and physical capacity to serve another 4 years?
Yes, I am.
I did not have the experience that it took him longer to answer a simple question.
He could stumble. He also stumbled some physically.
What is a cheap fake?
It was something that we did not coin. It was something that the media coined.
Did you or did anyone ever verify if the videos you were talking about were, in fact, cheap fakes?
I believe so.
But there were instances where videos were circulated of President Biden appearing confused or freezing for a moment that were real, correct?
Not that I recall.
Not that I recall. Not that I recall. Covering for his condition. And then, to make matters worse, they faked Joe's signature, giving out pardons like candy.
Do you know who the people who were actually operated the Autopen were?
I do not. Do you know any of the actual staff who were using the Autopen?
No.
You don't know their names?
No.
Have you never seen a decision memo laying out the breakdown of when the president should hand sign a particular set of documents?
Not prior to prep.
Did he hand sign all executive orders?
He did not. He hand-signed many executive orders, but he did not hand-sign all executive orders.
Can you read your response?
I approve the use of the Autopen for the execution of all the following pardons. Thanks, Jay-Z.
Did you yourself write this email?
I do not believe I did.
Jay-Z, look at that. Look at that. That was a cool graphic, Mad Dog. Do not believe I did. And I'm quoting that person right there who trains these jackals on their answers anyway. Well, it looks like they might not get away with it after all. Fingers crossed. Thought I'm holding my breath. I'm not, because Trump's on it. I think they're going to try and hold these folks accountable. I hope they are. Is there an actual reckoning coming? Is it actually going to happen at all? Well, Whoopi may not like it, but Whoopi had better brace herself.
Instead of investigating a man who is no longer in office, I would like y'all to find out why the U.S. military is striking vessels without verifying who's in them.
They really, really, really want this to go away, don't they? Because they know it means that heads will roll. The more the truth the House Oversight Committee uncovers, more heads will roll. Also, how do they say things like that without even a shred of irony? Let's not investigate a man who's no longer in office and focus on the one who is currently in there. What about those 4 years, Whoopi? We want those 4 years of our lives back, trial after trial, a mugshot. Are they kidding? Are they kidding when they say this stuff? We're talking about something far worse than Watergate, Whoopi. Here's Mike Donilon, part of the massive cover-up, admitting that there was a hefty bonus coming to those who continued to hide Joe's mental downfall in order to help him get elected.
Were there any circumstances in which you would have received a bonus?
Yes, it was.
What were those circumstances?
That Joe Biden would have been reelected president of the United States.
What would the bonus have been?
I believe it would have been $4 million.
In addition to the $4 million that you were already paid?
Yes.
$4 million. In case it was hard to hear, the guy who's part of one of the most treasonous and disgusting cover-ups in American history. If Biden barely was there mentally, was the guy who couldn't stay up on a stationary bike, who couldn't find his way out of a round robin without a note card guiding him. Mr. President, sit down. You sit now. These people actively worked to cover up all of that, to hide from the American people the fact that the leader of the free world was in a mental freefall. Why? Because they knew a big payout was coming, $4 million if he was reelected. Screw the American people. That's what they were thinking, obviously. Who cares about this country as long as Eyebrows over there gets his millions and puts Weekend at Bernie's back into the Oval with his hand on the nuclear codes? Think about that for a second. They know this is bad. Their media minions have come out for months trying to play it all down. There's nothing to see here, folks. So it looks like I have to educate the leftist media. Once again, the difference here is, and why it's worse than Watergate by a mile, is because unlike what the Washington Post is trying to imply in that article, just one of many of the like that they put out by the subservient arm of the Democrat Party machine, the Autopen wasn't just used to sign a letter congratulating some teacher in Kalamazoo for her 40 years of teaching kindergarten. It was used to pardon a man who created a deadly virus in a Chinese lab that killed millions of people and then laughed in our faces about it.
I created it. That's right. You let it loose. I was in my kitchen. You let it loose. Yeah. Right. Okay. Gain of function. Here we come. You're making Arancia Italian meatballs, and that's a gain of function. All right.
7 million people died. A million Americans died. I'm on the cover of magazines. Pardoned. Look, we all know that Joe Biden's executive orders and pardons were signed via Autopen by a 27-year-old staffer with green hair, with 63 pronouns to his, her, they, them name. All right, fine. We all know that Joe had no idea what day it was, let alone what was being signed in his name, and yet nothing will ever be done about this because it will be too big of a shock to the Democrat system, and it will open a sort of political Pandora's box whose contents are unknowable. I'm old enough to know how this thing goes. This is the deep state we're talking about, the lowest depths of the disease-ridden swamp. See what I'm getting at? They carried out one of the most devious, treasonous acts in our history, covering up for a degenerate president, a guy who didn't even know what day it was, calling out dead people. Where's Susie? Mr. President, she died 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay, got it. A congresswoman. And then when they knew he wasn't getting in again, they broke laws to give out pardons in order to do everything in their power to cover their tracks. We know it happened. It's fact. Mark my words, it's just that we've seen this too many times. Can the American people finally get what we deserve, the truth, retribution? How about a perp walk? How about someone behind bars for breaking the law for once? We have 2 million people in our prisons in America, 2 million Americans in our prisons. Can we put one politician who broke the law worse than half of the people in our prisons? Can we put one of them in prison, please, so they stop doing it? Would it help to pretend like the fate of this republic depends on it? Maybe, because it actually does. Now let's do something about it.